Welcome back to Wellness in Minutes, where we give you bite-sized health information that's easy to digest. Be sure to check out the show notes for details on the full episode and more from the Food Matters podcast.
If people did want to try implementing cacao, my suggestion would be to eliminate coffee for a month, maybe eliminate alcohol and try using cacao, because it'll still give you the energy. It'll make you feel happier, make you feel healthier. And you can create a high that you don't have to come down from. And so you can have it as a latte, shake, smoothie, or you can join in a ceremony as well and go a bit deeper with the medicine as well.
Wow, it's beautiful. And we talk about cacao as a medicine. And so it's not as simple. I just wanted to explain that as well for those that are listening, as simple as, swapping the latte or the coffee that you're drinking for a hot chocolate and ordering a different thing at, when you're going to your favorite coffee shop. It's really about looking at the source of where this cacao comes from. And so maybe we can talk about all the different varieties of cacao and cocoa and what sort of varieties are out there and the history of them and how they've come about in the market and what to look out for, really.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is a bit of an undiscovered topic, because cacao also has a bit of truth, and not all cacao is created equal. For those that don't know, like, cacao is actually the raw form of chocolate, and in its raw form, it's not a confectionery item. It's actually a nutrient-dense superfood. It's actually considered food of the gods, and the actual name Theobroma, which is the tree that it comes from, Theo and Broma literally translates to food of the gods. And so it is actually a sacred plant and a sacred plant medicine. And the ancient Mayans have been using it as a bridge to connect with the spirit realm for thousands of years. And so when consuming cacao in its raw form, not as cocoa, because basically cocoa is the ultra heat treated version of that, which is what you'll find in your chocolates or in your, hot chocolate drinks. But in its raw form, it's actually a nutrient dense superfood. And so, first of all, there's many ways to differentiate it. There's cocoa powder, then there's like raw cacao powder, and then again, not all cacao is created equal. The cacao that we use is called the Criollo cacao, which is the original cacao strain, and that grows mainly in the wild under the forest canopy. It actually prefers the shade to grow, and so when you choose to use cacao that is Criollo cacao, you're actually supporting the rainforest in most cases. But then there's two other types of cacao. There's Trinitario and there's Forastero. And actually they take up around 90 to 94% of the market, and Criollo cacao only takes up 6% of the market. And so most of the cacao nowadays actually comes from Africa. About 80% of the world's cacao comes from Africa. And like I said, cacao has a bit of truth. And the truth is that, there's unfortunately over 1.5 million children in slave labor in the cacao or cocoa industry in Africa. And so what we decided to do is, like I said before, when I climbed that mountain of DJing, I got to the top and I looked down and I saw all this destruction. When we started this business, I wanted to make sure that we didn't repeat the same mistake. And so, as soon as we received some investment to start our business, the first thing that we did was went straight to the source. And so we went straight to the heart of the Amazon basin where cacao first originated. And it was a 16-hour bus ride, 7-hour canoe ride, into the Amazon, where we met with the tribe called the Ashaninka. And there's over 350 indigenous families growing and cultivating our cacao in the wild under the forest canopy. And they use the money that we give them to preserve their land, protect their culture, protect their way of life. And then we use it to mix it into our 4 flavors, plus our 100% pure ceremonial cacao. And in regards to a product, like the differentiation of that is that most cacao companies or brands either fall into one of two categories. It's either 100% pure ceremonial cacao, or it's like, sugar-rich hot chocolate. And so what we've done is found something in the middle, where we have something for everybody. We have your 100% pure ceremonial cacao for you to come and enjoy for medicinal purposes. But then we have our refined sugar-free 4 flavors that you can have every day as a latte, shake, or a smoothie, that you can enjoy every day for the health benefits. And so when choosing cacao, it's always best to know, like, where does your cacao come from? Where is it sourced? Is it grown on a farm or a plantation? Or is it grown, in the wild by, indigenous families? What's the farming practices? Do they use pesticides, chemicals? Because even if you buy organic cacao, You can buy organic cacao, and it's good for you, but it may not necessarily be good for the land, because organic cacao can still be grown on deforested land. And so the good thing about our cacao is that it's wild harvested. So it's grown in the wild. It's beyond organic, and this is the best cacao for you to choose. It's best for you. It's best for your body. It's best for the planet. And it also goes towards supporting indigenous communities who want to live their traditional lifestyle.
Yeah, so let's talk about how it's actually good for us and how, because a lot of us have been taught, okay, well, hot chocolate, it's full of sugar, or even a block of candy, it's like block of chocolate, it's full of like it's like a candy bar. We were always told, no, don't eat that. That's unhealthy. So now we're having to change our mindset and saying, okay, this is actually a health food product because we're not actually sweetening it so much as well. So again, for people that are dealing with, let's talk about any type of chronic illness. We're talking about addictions, or we're talking about people with high blood sugar levels. We're talking about obesity, or any type of diabetes, or all those sort of conditions. How would that relate to using this type of medicine on a daily basis?
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny. So, when we started this company, when I started using cacao, I didn't really know too much about it. I didn't do any research or anything. It just felt good, and I felt aligned to bring this cacao to the world. And funnily enough, though, how we actually got into this business was actually we started doing cacao parties, and I started mixing my music with cacao, and we went from like 20 people to 40 to 80 to 100 to 200. But what we started to see was a shift in culture, and people actually wanted to celebrate life at a higher level without the crash, without the hangover, without the come down. But then simultaneous to that, like as a society, we, our morning ritual, like our life is based of many, many different rituals, but our morning ritual often is surrounded by a cup of coffee. And coffee actually has caffeine, which produces cortisol, which can trigger your stress hormone and put you into your fight or flight or trigger your anxiety. But cacao actually has theobromine, and theobromine is a chemical that helps produce happiness. So, unlike caffeine, which produces cortisol, cacao can produce oxytocin, serotonin, dopamine, and endorphins. So, all the chemicals that can make us feel good, make us feel happy, that's what cacao produces. And so, we have so many cases and so many customers messaging us saying, oh my gosh, thank you so much for this product. I've cured my addiction to coffee, or I've gotten off alcohol, I've gotten off other substances, or I've cured my depression after 4 years. I'm no longer anxious. I've gotten off my medication. So many, like a big variety of, healing properties that people have found. And so, it's super great for cardiovascular health. Like it actually, like cacao is known as the heart opening medicine of the world, and it physically opens our heart and pumps more oxygen around our body. It's a vasodilator. So whatever you put with your cacao, your body will receive more of it. So basically, if you have your protein or your supplements or anything else with it, your body's going to receive more of that, more of those nutrients into the cells. But the main thing for me with cacao is actually the magnesium, which relaxes your nervous system. And I think we can generally say that our society as a whole is quite stimulated. Like even there's so many phrases from coffee. It's like, drink coffee. Like I can't go a day without coffee, or, you can't buy happiness, but you can buy coffee. But in reality, coffee makes us do, silly things faster. Like it makes us, we're not necessarily being more present with ourselves or our, company when we're having coffee. Not that coffee is bad or anything, it definitely serves a purpose, but if we can shift our morning ritual to something that is better for our health, that relaxes our nervous system, puts more oxygen into our bodies, and also releases, feel good chemicals that make us feel happy, then this is something that we could implement into our daily lives. And, myself, I've received tremendous benefit from cacao. It's changed my life. And pretty much most of the people on my team, it's like impacted them in such a positive way. And we're constantly getting feedback and hearing stories about how people using cacao, especially for 30 days, has drastically changed their life. And so, we recommend having 2 cups of our flavored cacao a day. You can have like a chili or a vitality, or you can have an earth and a love before bed. And people have reported, their overall mood, they're happier, they have better like conversations when they're, drinking cacao with their friends, have better sleep, more productivity, more focus. And yeah, people have actually cured their anxiety and depression with it. So, if you think about depression, it's like depression is some sadness from the past, anxiety is fear of the future. And if you're curing that, what is it actually doing? It's actually making you more present. And so cacao is a gateway to being more present.
So yes, thank you everyone for listening. I really enjoyed that talk. I hope you did too. And there will be more of these on the Food Matters podcast. So head to foodmatters.com and see you again.